It is nice to be doing this again. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Lily, I'm 24, I'm living in Sydney doing this. It's now very much the end of June. It's been a minute, sorry, but what better time to post my June bullet journal video than right now. So this month I went for kind of like a fall, autumn, orange kind of vibe, which I think is very fun, even though we are in winter at the moment and it's freezing and your girl is dying. So if you guys have any tips for how to beat winter just all out without getting the $15 Kmart heater that's going to rack up my power bills because your girl is poor, let me know. All that being said, let's get into the video, shall we?
Gang, we are so back. Oh my god, I'm so happy to be back on this tiny little microphone. And if you guys can't see it, here is a little picture. I'm so excited. Anyway, as always, we are starting with a classic little one-page, title page. There we are. One-page title page. As always, I've also outlined everything in pencil first. I say as always, I don't actually always do this, but when I want it to look semi-nice-ish and I have kind of an idea of what I'm doing, then I'll outline it first instead of just going crazy and going straight in with a pen. So this time I did kind of a, what's it called? My brain wants to say typewriter, but I feel like that's not correct, but I'm just gonna go with it and someone can correct me down below. Kind of a typewriter-ish font. I've made these kind of bold sections in the middle, which I then just went in and did some, I think it's called hatching? I don't know. So it's not going crossover, but shading, if you will. Some shading in the middle to make it stand out and make it a little bit more fun. And then this, trust the process. Okay, so I've drawn some little like foliage down the bottom, some leaves and mushrooms and other fun things. And then I just went in with the textures first. I'm using some Crayola markers also. I'm sure you can probably find a pack of about 100 markers or whatever I got somewhere from Officeworks or Kmart if you really want these ones as well. They're very fun. I do live and die by them. I think they're great. But I just went through over the pencil and went straight in with the color first. And then once I was happy with all of the color, then I outlined it at the end. And this is me just having fun coloring in some mushrooms, which is great. Honestly, I feel like I never really draw anymore. So that's why I'm quite enjoying bullet journaling. Not that I was ever like big into, well, I kind of was. I guess as a kid, I did do a lot of drawing, but that's why I'm liking bullet journaling now. So I can just do these fun little doodles. And that is kind of enough to scratch that itch in my brain for a little artistic outlet. So that is why I also recommend everyone do a fun little bullet journaling moment because it gets to be both productive and creative, which is very fun. Anyway, let's skip ahead. You get the gist. I'm coloring in. Moving on. Wow, she's done. It was so fast. But yes, you get the gist of it. There we go. I've colored in a whole bunch of leaves and then outlined everything to add some dimension, I guess. And as always, I do like my art to be a little bit messy. I think it's fun, particularly because I actually have no other option than to make it a bit messy. Now, for the quote on the left page, I always like having a quote to start off my month. This time, I went with a quote that I read in the book Piranesi. Piranesi sounds wrong, even though that is how everybody in the world seems to be pronouncing it. I think it should be Piranesi, and if you disagree, then you can argue with the wall because I simply don't care. It's a book that I read in the last month, which I absolutely adored. Oh my goodness, it was so fantastic. One of my friends recommended it to me, and honestly, it's one of the best books I think I've ever read in my life. The quote that I went with is, "The beauty of the house is immeasurable, its kindness is infinite." And that's basically the quote from the book, pretty much. I thought it was very fun, and it kind of fits that autumn vibe, I think, if you've read the book. If you haven't, do it. It's great. Highly recommend. I've kind of been in my reading era, even though I'm kind of only up to book number 6, I think, for this entire year, but that's about 6 more books than I read for the last 4 years. Anyway, as always, I've then gone in to just erase everything that was left behind, and let's move on to the calendar. I pretty much use the same stock standard calendar for every single month. I know what works. I'm happy with it, where I'll just outline the weeks, well, the days, I guess. I'll outline the top line for each day and just kind of go across so it's seamless through the entire week, and just put the date at the very, very top corner and leave the rest of it to, fill in the days, I guess. You know how a calendar works. Anyway, but it's the same kind of calendar outline that I use pretty much every single month. Nothing new here. I just went with a light orange highlighter, which is kind of similar to the rest of the colors, but a little bit more muted, which I think is nice, so it's not too bold for the month. And I always find it, I mean, you know me, I'm not a believer in rulers in my bullet journal, but I do like to have my lines somewhat straight, and I find that turning the page on its side makes it a little bit easier to keep the lines straighter-ish. So that's why I turn the book over when I'm doing it that way. Also, I can't tell if this is actually glitching for you guys as well, or if it's only glitching for me. But if it's glitching for you guys, I'm so sorry. I'm using a new camera for the very first time, and I don't know how I'm feeling about the editing process with it. But anyway, we'll see. Now, for the title that I've done for the top of this one, obviously, it's June. I just went with a nice big, bold orange June behind it, and then did a little cursive in front of it. I don't know if you can tell, but I did mess up that E, which thankfully I found a way to cover it afterwards because it was actually really pissing me off while I was looking at it. I was like, oh no, it's fine. I don't mind having some mistakes, but that mistake really bothered me. And then to keep the leafy theme, I just went in with some more little leaves and yellow spots all around the page to kind of tie in from the title page as well. And then so that I know what I'm actually looking at in this calendar, I've done these little red squares, rectangle things to highlight each of the days at the top of the calendar, which, like I said, thank goodness that covers up the E, so you can't see that the bottom line is just way longer than it's meant to be. Yeah, it's a fairly simple calendar. It works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's kind of my opinion. Thank goodness. Hide it away. My disgusting mistake. Although I don't know if you can tell, I actually also made a mistake with the red. God damn it, I can't catch a break in this calendar. Anyway, then we just went over and marked what all the days are. And now is my favorite bit, the sparkly washi tape. As always, at the start of each month, I like to have some washi tape right at the very edge of the page folded over. So that way when my bullet journal is closed, you can kind of see where each month is, which I think is really fun. It also makes the side of it look a little bit different and fun and quirky and not like other girls and all that jazz. I don't know. I think it's cute. I've always been doing it and I don't think I'll ever stop because it's literally been going on for about 5 years. After adding in all the days in the calendar, now let's get into some more of the fun stuff. So this is my goals, habits, and June recap page. Went with a little banner to kind of be the header for the goals and the habits. I will say, now that I've actually been using this bullet journal for most of the month, I have been so bad with keeping up habits. I do this every single month. I pick way too many habits and then I just can't keep track. But it makes for a nice page at the very least. The goals have been okay because it's literally just a list of goals, but the habits, trying to keep track, it's tough. Anyway, I use the exact same kind of banner every single time I'm going to use a banner header, so I don't really need an outline before anymore for this one because it's pretty easy for me. I know exactly how it's going to work, so I just went straight in with that marker over the top, and yeah, that's it. We've got habits, we've got goals. I will say the one thing that makes this a little bit different from the last few months that I've tried to do, if you watched my January bullet journal video, I had a mood and sleep tracker. I didn't end up putting it in the February one, but I used it for March and April, and then May I didn't really do a bullet journal. Really, I only did the monthly spread, so I didn't do a whole month of bullet journaling. But that mood and sleep tracker, I think, was so fun in January, and it just got completely abandoned every other time that I tried to use it. So this month I decided to just not even pretend that I was going to use it, and that's why we switched out just to have goals and habits and then a great big recap page, which won't be used until probably next week when I'm doing a little reflection on how the month went. But aside from that, that's pretty much all that's on this page. So now, as you can see, doing exactly the same kind of doodles that I did for that first page. Like I said, I do like keeping the drawings a little bit more messy. It's just, makes it fun. It feels more authentic because I know my skill level. So having it a little bit messy and just leaning into it makes me feel a little bit better. So it's not like, oh, why isn't it perfect? It's like, well, this is the level that I know that I'm at and I'm okay with it. But I think it's cute, especially when like all of it is messy. It's messy together. I think that's fun. So anyway, we've got the leaves, the yellow spot things. I don't really know what I was going for the yellow spots. I don't know if that's a kind of like golden wattle, but like not really. I don't know. I'm just kind of making stuff up in this. I've created a little autumn world full of things that simply may or may not exist. And the fun mushrooms, as always. I've truly never seen a red and white. Is it a toadstool? Is that what they actually are? Not even mushrooms? I've never seen one of them. I don't know where they exist in the world. I don't know if they exist in the world. But I think they're super fun. Like the little Mario Kart Nintendo World mushroom things. Do you know what I'm talking about? I feel like I've just gone on a little bit of a tangent. Let's move on to the next bit. Okay, moving on. For the recap page, thankfully, I did outline this one first because I have absolutely zero faith that I would have gotten the sizing of those letters correct. It's still not perfect, but again, like we have just established in my like 3-minute long ramble, I kind of like the imperfection. Now, for the habits, I kept it nice and simple. I just outlined the top little header for what each habit is, and then went through and wrote down every date, and the idea was to cross off each day that I actually did that thing. The habits that I picked for this one were, well, for this month at least, were reading, fitness, journaling, and create. And I know that create is very broad. It was meant to be because I have too many hobbies and too many artistic things that I want to do, but I was like, as long as I just do something creative each day, I will be happy. Doesn't matter what it is, but just one thing. Okay, now finally, the moment we've been waiting for, let's get into the weekly spread. This has been a weekly spread that I've been loving for quite some time, so I thought, you know what, for this bullet journal video, getting back into it 4 months later, let's go back to the roots, which is basically just having the 7 days on one side and a great big brain dump notes section on the other. Keep it simple with some little doodles here and there. Once again, I have another banner header on one side. This time, remember just before when I was like, it's so easy, I don't need an outline, I know what I'm doing. Yeah, I immediately messed it up, lol, but that's fine because this one is actually very, very easy to cover up. So I've got my banner header for one side for my notes, and then basically it's kind of all very brain dumpy, but that's pretty much how my brain works, I guess. I can just like have some sections to drop some little notes in whatever form I wish in one section. I liked not having this specified as a to-do list on this side because I've noticed that every time I do keep it as like just a to-do list, I suddenly don't have anything that I need to do specifically that week, and I'm like, well, this is pointless, and it ends up just being a blank page. But when I label it specifically notes, and then in there I'm able to have some to-do lists and some random stuff and whatever else, then I actually use it more. Which is so ridiculous because obviously it's truly one word changing and I can do whatever I want anyway, but it, for some reason, makes all the difference in my brain. I then went in and added a little border around the notes section and finished up with all the days of the week there to make it all look a little bit neater. And again, this is all very familiar for if I can't think of what to do for each month or each week in a bullet journal spread, I'm probably going to do this. I find it very easy to just have a little section for my daily to-dos and my schedule, I guess, on the right-hand side, and then on the left, just dump in all of my thoughts in whatever form they happen to appear in, and outlined the rest of those little doodles in the corner to make them stand out a little bit more. And that's pretty much the week. That's the weekly spread. It all went on very much like this for the rest of the bullet journal. So that is pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this month's bullet journal spread. I had a lot of fun getting back into it. I have actually been bullet journaling I've been doing my bullet journal spreads. I've been pretty bad at filling them out, if I'm being totally honest, for the last few months, but I've been very excited to get back into it finally, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you're following along as well, let me know, and if you're not, that's cool. Slay, all good. Thanks for watching and supporting anyway. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like and maybe subscribe. Sometimes I post more bullet journal videos, sometimes I post whatever the heck else, I don't know. Sometimes I don't post at all, which is a big slay. Maybe if some people subscribe, then maybe I'll post more. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, I guess. But I reckon that's pretty much it. So thanks for sticking around all this time. Let's get into the final flip through.